Hey guys, it's Brian here. So today we're going to take a look at Project 4 in the tutorials, and we're going to start getting into the conditionals and if-then statements. So we're going to go up to IDE, New Project, let's name it Project 4, and Graphical Editor, and keep it in free mode for now. And let's get started. So we're going to start off on the init page, and just like last time, we're going to grab two variables. And let's name one position A and the other position B. And length of 3. And for position A, let's do 0 for x, 1 for y, and 0 for z. For position B, let's do 1 for x, 0 for y, and 0 for z. Now let's head over to the main loop, and we're going to grab, in spheres controls, we're going to grab a set position target block, and let's have it go to position A. And just to show you, we're going to go ahead and compile and simulate. So we'll keep the time at 90 seconds, keep the initial position, and let's start out. So once that runs, we'll view results, and I'm going to speed it up just a little bit, so I'm going to put it on 4, and you can see that the sphere is now moving out to position 1. So you can see position Y is at 1 right here. So I'm going to turn to the code, and now let's try having it go to A and B. So I'm just going to grab another set position target block, and so we have position A, then let's do position B. And let's compile and simulate, and let's see what happens. So keep time 90, and let's see. So we're going to have it, we're going to click on view results, and now I'm going to speed it up again. So interesting thing, instead of going to position A over here and then position B, it just went straight to position B. So the reason for that is the loop, so your main loop runs once a second. So what's happening is that every second you're telling it to go to position A, but then immediately go to position B. So it's ignoring position A and going straight to B because every second you're telling it to do both, so it can only do the last thing that it was told. So because of this, this is where our conditionals come in. So if you can take a look at the slides over here, I know it's a little small, and you guys can pull this up on your own and read through more of the information. But basically, kind of look at this flowchart here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a counter variable that pays attention to the time in the game. And so what we're going to do is check if the time is greater than 20, go to position A, and then every second increase the variable for time. So that way it's counting 1, 2, 3, 4 seconds. And by doing that, that's going to let us kind of control what happens when. So what we're going to do is, back on the main loop, we're going to get rid of both of these. And we're going to go to logic. We're going to grab an if-then block. Go ahead and put that in the loop. And then in logic, we're going to grab one of these equal blocks. We're going to stick that on the end here. And let's go over to the init page. We're going to grab a variable. We're going to do an integer this time. So grab the pink one. We're going to change the type to integer. We're going to name it counter. And what this counter is going to do, and leave the initial value at 0, what this counter is going to do is it's just going to count the time. So once the program starts, counter is 0, seconds is 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. So let's head back over to the main page, and I got a little ahead of myself, but so this equal block, drag it and attach it there. And this drop-down menu is actually the different kind of things you can do. So equal is saying if something is equal to another thing. The exclamation equal is not equal. So if something is not equal to something else, then you have less than or equal to, greater than or equal to. So for now, we're going to use the greater than sign. And what we're going to do now is in variables, we're going to grab the pink puzzle piece. We're going to put it in the beginning, select counter, that's going to be checking our time. And then we're going to go to math, grab a number block, and we're going to put that here. And let's do 20 seconds. So if you pay attention to the simulations, you'll see that it takes a certain amount of time to get to the position. For the position that we're using here, it took about 20 seconds or a little under to get where it's going. So what we're going to do here is we're checking if the time is 20 seconds, then do whatever is here. So now we're going to grab a set position target block, and set position target, we'll select position A, and then we also need to implement something that will keep our counter variable keeping track of time. So we're going to grab this pink block here, put it under our if statement, select counter, and I'm just going to move this for right now. And we're going to go back to math. We're going to grab this plus. I'm actually going to put the plus where the number was. And I'm going to grab another counter puzzle piece. So put it in there, counter, and then I'm going to put the number right here, and 1. So what this is doing, counter equals counter plus 1. Basically, because this loop runs once a second, you have your counter variable that starts off with a value of 0. Every second in the loop, it's going to say this counter variable equal to whatever the value is, add 1 to it. So if it starts off at 0, 1 second, add 1, 2 seconds, add 1, 3 seconds, add 2, or add 1. So every time, it's just going to keep track with the seconds. So it'll increase in value every second. So moving on now, we are going to run this code. So let's compile and simulate. So we're going to keep 90 seconds. And let's see what happens. So what this code should do, it's saying if counter, so time, if counter is greater than 20, go to position A and keep increasing counter to keep track of seconds. So let's see your results. And I'm going to speed it up a bit. So as you can see right now down here, time going by. So once it got to 20 around here, then it moves. So you can see your second count up here. So I'm going to start it over again, and you can see it's going up, not doing anything until it hits 20 seconds, and then it's moving to position A. So I'm going to return to the code now, and now we need to implement going to position B. So what we can do now, so we have another flowchart, so go to position A. This is going to be our goal. So we want it to go to position A. If time or counter is greater than 20, then go to position B. And every second, keep up with the counter. So let's try that. So I'm going to move all this out for now. I'm not going to delete it because we still need it. But now I'm going to grab another position target. We're going to have go to position A. Now I'm going to put this back and change this one to position B. So with this now, we're saying go to position A. Go to position A. When counter is greater than 20, then go to position B. And every second, counter plus 1. So let's try simulating and viewing that. So I'm going to go ahead and compile. And then we'll simulate. Leave it at 90. And let's see what happens. So once this compiles, we'll view results. And here we go. So now you see, I'm going to speed it up to 4 again. So starting off, it's going to position A. Now it's hit 20. Now it's going to position B. Because go to position A, if counter is above 20, go to position B. So that's what happened here. So it starts off going directly to position A. Counter hits 20. Now it's going up to B. So that's how conditionals work. So let's return to code. And let's try something different for, now we want it to go, let's have it go to position A. When counter is 20, go to position B. And then when counter is 40, go back to position A. So what we're going to do is I'm going to move this for right now. I'm actually going to, and I'll walk through creating a if-then statement again. So grab the if-then, Back to logic, grab the equal. So let's do if counter is greater than 40. So we'll start if counter, and we'll grab a number from math is greater than 40. Sphere controls, set position target, go back to position A, and then we want to put this back in so that it keeps track of time. So now we should see, I'm going to go ahead and compile, and simulate. So now we should see it. It'll go to position A at the beginning. When counter hits 20, go to position B. When counter hits 40, go back to position A. So let's see the results. So here we are, we're starting out. So heading to position A, over here at y equals 1. Counter just hit 20, so now we're heading over to position B. So x equals 1. Counter just hit 40, so we're going to head back over to position A at y equals 1. So there you go. And that does it. So that's your introduction to logic statements.